Hello and welcome to the Scottsdale Green Expo. As you can see, we're kicking off our Earth Week. Earth Week celebrates what Scottsdale really stands for. Scottsdale has four wonderful attributes. First of all, we're a very beautiful city. When you think about Scottsdale, we're beautiful because we understand the natural environment and the built environment, and especially where they come together, right? And in a sustainable way, of course, that makes us responsible citizens of the world. The second thing notable about Scottsdale is we're a very clean city, and we take pride and we take care as whether we're city employees, visitors, and so forth, think, hey, there's something, I can do something about it, and I can keep our city clean. The third attribute is we're a very safe city. And safety comes from the professionals that are in our police and fire, but also in our schools and how we protect our space and look for safe transit and every way to keep us in a healthier means. And then finally, Scottsdale's all about wellness. And we care about your personal wellness, our family's wellness, the neighborhood wellness, wellness in our business neighborhoods. And of course, Scottsdale has been known for our medical community. And we're known worldwide. People will come to Scottsdale for treatments and because it's part of our environment that we make. In every way, when you look at what contributes to our beauty, our health, and our safety, a large part of it has to do with volunteers. And many volunteers are here or they're out working, I know, because there's Adopt a Street and many other things that are happening. We have a wonderful preserve, which is also, it's kind of loved, overseen by over 750 volunteers. Isn't that amazing? What we're going to do today is be able to look at some of the equipment, but behind every equipment, there's somebody running it, right? And I'm very pleased as mayor to read a proclamation, and also, and it's about Earth Day. And Earth Day is really a holistic. It's really a holistic event. So. I never used whereas until I became mayor, but that's what we do, right? So, whereas Earth Day began in 1970 as a movement on college campuses gaining national attention, resulting in the formation of the Environmental Protection Agency. And whereas Earth Day was created to educate Americans and sound the alarm about the effects of pollution, which threatens planet Earth. And whereas Scottsdale highly values natural open space by promoting environmental stewardship and sustainable management of the Sonoran Desert environment and conservation of natural resources, as well as our 44 city parks, including the Indian Bend Wash and the famous Greenbelt. Whereas the city of Scottsdale has long been a leader in water conservation, recharge, purification, in state-of-the-art water systems, recycling, a green building program, and the City Council recently adopted the 2021 edition of the International Energy Conservation Code and the International Green Construction Code as mandatory codes, which together contribute significantly to our quality of life economic vitality, and personal wellness. Therefore, I, David D. Ortega, the 12th mayor of Scottsdale, do proclaim Earth Day in Scottsdale and urge all residents to celebrate Earth Day every day and keep open space and the environment as a top priority. Now, when you do a proclamation, you got to give it to somebody, right? So I would like Luana, and I would like Finley, and I would like her sister to please come forward and stand with us. Also, I was looking for our council members. We have Solange Whitehead, so I'd like you to come by and let's come together and we will accept. We'll go to the front. How's that? Yay. Thank you for being here. You could be on the other end.
I'll be on the other end.
Yeah. Here we go. So thank you very much for being you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for everything you learned at Hopi School. And, Finley is a 7th grader. So, soon to be 8th grade, right? Yeah. And let's give them a hand. And what I'd like you to do is perhaps take this to your school, and after you've maybe made a little presentation and see if your principal or others would like to know a little more, and then return it to my office. Would that be good? Yeah. And we'll see if another school would like to do that, and we'll keep it going. Okay? Luella, thank you so much. All right.
Thank you.
There you go. So Scottsdale Earth Week, Earth Day wasn't enough, right? We have a whole week. Runs today and all the way through Friday. We have Arbor Day. Arbor Day, we will have a celebration in Chaparral Park. And this is the 41st year that Scottsdale has been declared a Tree City, USA. Can you imagine that? Isn't that wonderful? We have the longest running appreciation of Tree City, USA here in Arizona. And very recently, some of you know, we can tour the new Civic Center. I call it a campus because it's kind of a fun place. You got government, you've got the library, we've got the arts, we have some restaurants, and it's a neat place to walk around. Well, there's 142 new trees there. And when we redesigned that area, it now includes an area for kids splash area. And it's going to have an entrance directly to the library from the children's area, the kids section. So that's going to be a neat connection. I don't know if there's going to be towels in between there to make sure that the splashers have a good time. Now, Scottsdale's efforts for sustainability go way back for a decade. And over the years, it was that kind of creativity, again, saying we have this danger zone of flooding that became the Indian Bend Wash, which now is a very desirable, amenity. However, at the same time, that dates back to the 70s. So it's over 50 years old. And we've changed a lot, we've grown a lot, and we're looking at probably making some significant changes. We're looking at an effort with a task force to look at how our open space, the areas that generate oxygen, right, and renew us, can be maintained. Not just, we have 44 parks and the green belt. Now, in the 70s, they planted mulberries. We don't do that. We don't do that anymore. And a lot of those have aged out. So boom, they're going to be going, and we're going to be depending on people to say what's the wisest thing for water use, what will give us shade, and how can we, be really sustainable. Another thing that we're going to do, so you'll be hearing about that, is, of course, we are building out some of the Bond 2019 projects. Those are hundreds of millions of dollars. and they affect every part of our life. 22 years ago, I was a councilman, and we had something called Bond 2000, and it was for $370 million 22 years ago, and the voters approved it. Well, that's how we got the McDowell Aquatic Center. Now think about Scottsdale without that, or the Appaloosa Library, or the El Dorado Aquatic Center. I mean, that's amazing. Now, 20 years later, they're getting some wear and tear too, right? And during that time also, voters approved this new bond issue, which has other things that are make us more sustainable. We are here at the courtyard. There's something called Godzilla, and Godzilla was the innovation in the original caveman years. Scottsdale had a bucket that fit in the lawn with a hatch on it, and inside the hatch was the metal garbage can. Can you imagine that? So you imagine how full and messy that would be for those guys. They called them wranglers, and they had to dip down and pull that out. And of course, if it rained, it was even heavier. That was kind of a back-breaking thing. And the team got together and developed Godzilla. And that was the automated. It was the innovation that changed garbage collection in the world, right? Because this is where it was developed, here in Scottsdale. Now, sometimes you've heard of sequels, like Rocky 1, Rocky 2, whatever. Well, there's Godzilla 2, and we've had, the later versions, right? They have cameras on them, and now they're work on compressed gas, and other amenities so that they work, really efficiently. And we'll be exploring even an electric version of vehicles. But most of the fleet you see that runs the city is efficient compressed gas. The other vital part of Scottsdale is all of the city workers. I've already mentioned the volunteers as well. And the city budget will include more, about 39 more people. We've fully recovered from COVID, and we're looking for where the needs are in all areas. So I know that among your family and friends, and maybe recently graduated nephews, nieces, or whatever, let's give Scottsdale a shot, right? Check on, we have positions in the laboratory. It's not just, law enforcement and so forth. It's every area, technical area and transport area. So at this time of year, a lot of people are coming into the workforce. Please pass that along. And, the other thing you'll see in some innovation is that we have solar panels. They're installed over the parking canopies, and we're going to have a police station that's partially running on solar energy. Isn't that good? Think about that. And it's a pleasure for the council and myself to serve you all and to consider the good ideas that you come forward with. It's pretty amazing, and we'll work together as we create our sustainable Scottsdale. As we see more people hopefully coming, and Saturday is a wonderful day to do things out in our community. So I want to give a personal thank you to all the employees that are here to demonstrate and answer questions. And I'll move next to introduce Councilwoman Solange Whitehead. She is an avid environmentalist, and as well as just a colleague and a humanist that I really enjoy working with her. So I'm happy to introduce you, Solange.
Okay.
Hey.
Thank you, Mayor Ortega. we've had a good couple of years on the environment. So I just, every Earth Day, I hearken back to the old days, which many of you don't remember. And it's hard to believe, but back in the old days, Earth Day 1970, it was believed that you had to choose between the environment and the economy. I mean, that seems really silly, and I'm glad the world's come a long way. There is no economy without a clean environment, and we all know that. But Scottsdale has understood that for decades, for many decades. We've always understood that our environment is the secret to our prosperity. So the mayor touched on many of our incredible achievements. We've preserved over 30% of the city, from the green belt to the parks to the McDowell-Sonoran Preserve. Do you know the world is trying to catch up to Scottsdale now? And thank goodness, because we need a lot more land preserved. So we were there a long time ago. 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago, we invested in the water treatment plant that makes sure that all effluent, I'm going to try to keep it politically correct and not gross, is turned into drinking quality water. And now we know that Phoenix, thank goodness, they're going to catch up to us. Tucson's looking at it. The world's looking at it. Our best sources of new water are conservation and recycled water. But we were there 20 years ago. We also were under Mayor Ortega's leadership when he was council. We were leaders in green building codes. Yeah, green building codes are a little mundane, right? Snoozing through that discussion. But what does a green building code do? And the fact is, in December, we just updated those codes and we made them mandatory. Green building codes are what reduces the water usage without changing your quality of life, reduces the water usage by 20% in an apartment. It reduces urban heat by keeping your air conditioner off because the building's built right. And by having that building built right, guess what? Your utility bill is lower. These are the ways that Scottsdale has always put the environment first. We understood that investing in the environment was an investment in our economy. And of course, I am, and the mayor talked about it already, I am very proud of our 1 megawatt solar installation right behind me. This is a project that I've been working on for 4 years. We know that we can get our energy from the sun, and this will, again, reduce urban heat, reduce water usage. So many benefits to, and it's so good that the world has caught up to Scottsdale and understands the economy, the environment is the economy. But we can't rest on our laurels. So we've got a lot of things coming up in this next couple of years. We're working on our first sustainability plan. We know that food waste is not waste. We know that that yard waste is not waste. There are heat mitigation efforts that we must take, tree canopy plants. We can plant trees that are drought resistant, but just having the tree there, it's more than just the shade. Trees cool us, and they create the biodiversity that is critical for our survival and for us wanting to be alive, right? Biodiversity, when we go to natural areas, that's what makes us glad to be alive. So Scottsdale's working on all of those, and it's not just the mayor, it's not just me. We can't do it without the entire city council being committed and having the most qualified staff that is working far more than meets the public eye to come up with the most creative and cost-effective ways to really protect Scottsdale, Arizona, and our planet. So it's a pleasure to work here every single day, and thank you all for coming out. And I'm going to hand it back to Mayor Ortega.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, every day, whether we start the day at the breakfast table, every day as we go on to maybe, to work in a break room or a boardroom, a classroom, cafeteria at school, we can talk about the importance of water and energy. And The other energy component is the energy that we give ourselves, right? The effort that we put into the conservation and knowing. Yes, it's a pocketbook issue, but it's the full holistic environment that we live in. I guess the last tip I would say, because you're going to hear me repeat this in the future, is and I was at a dinner last night and go frequently to events. But what I want to leave you with is, as I told the table, leave no water behind. If there's a half a glass of water, you're going to drink it. You're not just going to leave it on the table and walk away. And, let's do that. Let's think about it. We will hydrate. It keeps us balanced and everything works, right? Organically for ourselves. And so sure enough, I made everyone, and sometimes they come back to fill it. No, don't fill it for me. So let's see how small details can really keep Scottsdale as beautiful, as clean, as safe, and all about well-being year-round. Thank you so much. Yes, and we want to also emphasize, Aaron was going to say something, but we want to direct people to go ahead and tour the booths, and we put it out on social, and the days are getting more wonderfuler, and all the chores on Saturday are working. But thank you one and all for being here. Please enjoy. We have some free takeaways as well,